OpenPoint has a concept called temporal tables. Temporal tables allow every single change made to a table to be stored in a history location that can then be used by reports. This includes changes made through the OpenPoint software or even changes made directly to the database by a programmer. Any table in OpenPoint can be made into a temporal table. We're going to take a look at the CPR table and a specific report that takes advantage of the temporal table functionality. So I've pulled up the CPR ledger entry history report, and we're just going to give it a specific query here. So we're looking at the city district, the year 2002, and the 364.0030 plan account. So it's going to go and generate that for us in Excel. And what we're seeing are the CPR table values in conjunction with some of the CPR transaction data. So let me separate this out a little bit so that you can see what comes from where. So in this section here, let's put that in green. This comes from the CPR table. The rest of the data from this point on all comes from the CPR transaction table. So the CPR transactions always show us the actual transaction dollars, the count, whether it was an install or removal, that sort of thing. And we always have that historical trail. But on the CPR side, we only actually can see the current state of the CPR values. So normally you would, if you were to look at it, you would just see what's in orange here. And so I can see the district, the plan account, the year, the current CPR count, the UF and CF dollars, and obviously the unit prices and the total value as well. So what this report does and how it uses the temporal table concept is it's actually going into a history table that stored every single one of these changes in this section below as the adjustments to the CPR transaction records were being made. And so I can see, going back in time, every one of these changes and what the actual kind of the values were after the CPR transaction activity occurred. And if I keep going back far enough, I'll get to the very beginning. I can tell this is the very beginning record because it doesn't have an actual CPR transaction record to go along with that. So it just ends up being empty. So this allows you to just kind of walk up the tree of changes that happened from the beginning of time all the way till now and see exactly what happened along the way. Again, this can be applied to any table in the database, and so we can just turn those on and then we can write reports that end up hitting the current value plus the historical value, and we can do that upon request. If there are certain tables that we haven't already made into temporal tables, just let us know and we can make that happen.